This is the Sony ZV-1. So I'm using it to record this video so you can see the video quality for yourself. I've had the ZV-1 since July 2020, so about 6 months now. I've taken a bunch of Instagram photos and YouTube videos with it. I think the ZV-1 strikes a great balance between its powerful features and its compact camera restrictions. Hey, what's up guys? I'm Sonny Lee and these are the 11 barriers the Sony ZV-1 solves. By barriers, I mean the content creation barriers. So number 1 is focus. The autofocus is fast and reliable. Look at this, check this out. Boom. It's so reliable, guys. You don't need to think about it. It just focuses on whatever you want it to focus on. It's also got a product showcase mode, which I used in several videos over here. And I don't think any other camera has this except for the newer Sony cameras like the A7C, the A7S III, and the A1. And I don't think any other camera has this. It's so reliable and I think Sony really hit a home run with this autofocus system. The second barrier that the Sony ZV-1 solves is camera bags. The physical design is so convenient and small. It's so easy to throw it in a bag or your pocket and just shoot when you need it. Number 3 barrier that the Sony ZV-1 solves is external mics. The built-in mics of the Sony ZV-1 are so good. Just short of higher quality shotgun mics and external mics, and they're definitely better than any other built-in microphones in any camera. This is the test with the wind muff on, and there's a really nice breeze going through right now. And now this is what it sounds like without the wind muff. This is what you can expect, which is what you would normally get if you had a camera without a wind muff. And you don't need to buy any sort of external wind screen for your cameras because normally cameras don't have wind screens for their microphones. I always leave my external mics at home in case I want to film outside, and I just want to keep the package small and pocketable. Plus it comes with a cute little windscreen. His name is Harry. You can watch my videos from outside over here. Number 4th barrier that the Sony ZV-1 solves is a cameraman. The Sony ZV-1 has a remote app as well as camera remote support for taking those sweet Instagram photos. I took all these photos with the Sony ZV-1 with the remotes. I have these 2 remotes here with different purposes. So one is this one, which is the remote grip. So it's actually connected right now. I can stop recording with this button and I can see if it's recording with this little tally red light over here. Number 5 barrier that the Sony ZV-1 solves is a leveler. It's got a built-in gyroscope inside the camera and it can tell you if your shot is perfectly level. I think this is absolutely an underrated feature of the Sony ZV-1. I absolutely love being able to tell if my shot is perfectly level. I use this all the time. It just adds a bit of refinement to every composition, except for top-down shots. Number 6 barrier that the Sony ZV-1 solves is ND filters. It's got a built-in ND filter for bright light shooting. With this, you can film with a wider aperture and 1/60 shutter speed in more situations. Plus, what other cameras have built-in ND filters? That's almost unheard of, actually. So if you're into cameras, you know that barely any camera has built-in ND filters, aside from really high-end cinema cameras. And this little camera has it. That's freaking crazy in my opinion. The 7th barrier that the Sony ZV-1 solves is framing. The flip-out screen is amazing to compose and monitor your shots. However, it would have been nice to have a flip-up screen so that looking up is a little bit more subtle than looking to the side, because it looks like I'm sort of distracted and not connecting with the viewer. But then it would obstruct the mic if you opt for a mic, and having the flip out screen is also better for photography because you can get in more unique angles. And for the 8th barrier that the Sony ZV-1 solves is gimbals. The active stabilization on the Sony ZV-1 is really usable. Compared to in-body stabilization of even expensive cameras like the A7 line, A6500, A6600, they're not as good, and you can see those videos over here. For walking or moving shots, I think the active stabilization on the Sony ZV-1 is really great, and the small crop-in factor is totally worth it. No active stabilization, and I'm just walking now. Now this is what it looks like with active stabilization on. As you can see, it's way smoother. And the number 9th barrier that the Sony ZV-1 solves is expensive lenses. Now this can be a pro and a con. The pro is that the 24-70 full frame equivalent focal length is really versatile. This is often considered the most versatile focal length for lenses. However, the con is you won't be able to get a shallow depth of field, especially at longer distances combined with the 1-inch sensor of the Sony ZV-1. You just won't get that long bokeh effect as you would with a camera like this. I think there would be quite a bit of background blur with this 35mm full frame equivalent lens at f2. And the 10th barrier that the Sony ZV-1 solves is permits. Hear me out with this one. Given the small form factor of this powerful camera, security guards won't bother you or restrict you as much as you would with a fully rigged APS-C or full frame setup. And again, you won't even need a rig for the Sony ZV-1 because it's got many features that bigger cameras don't even have. And last but not least, the 11th barrier that the Sony ZV-1 solves is lens caps. Now, it might be a very minute thing, but hear me out again. If you've used an APS-C camera or a full frame camera, you know that you need to remove and put back the lens cap every start and end of your shoot. It's so annoying, and you can easily lose this lens cap and end up damaging or smudging your lens. The Sony ZV-1 has an automatic lens cover which automatically opens and closes each time you turn on or turn off the camera. Especially if you're at a run and gun situation and you don't really want to fumble with a lens cap. Now, all of these 11 barriers are brought down to some extent, some more than others, but each small solution goes a really long way, thus the law of diminishing returns. So the Sony ZV-1 is a little bit on the other side of the spectrum, wherein it tackles each of the different features vloggers need in a camera, but still have it in a small form factor like this. I think each small solution goes a long way, and I think this is what makes the Sony ZV-1 great. Which brings us to the 5 cons of the Sony ZV-1. Con number 1 is having the tight field of view of 24mm or 28mm if you have active stabilization on for vlogging. This can easily be solved by a wide angle adapter, which I have over here. And this is how I learned that lens caps are a hassle, guys. This thing has a lens cap, so it doesn't really automatically open itself when you open the camera. So this is what it looks like with the wide angle adapter. And this is without the wide angle. And this wide angle lens has been reviewed all over YouTube, guys. I'll just link them over here. Or you can also get a longer selfie stick. There's many ways around it. What's up, guys? This is what the Sony ZV-1 looks like with a wide angle adapter with no active stabilization. This is also the built-in audio up here. What it looks like. Very compact. Con number 2 is that the bokeh may be lacking. So as the Sony ZV-1 has a 1-inch sensor, the bokeh can feel a bit lacking through the months that I've had it. I later learned on my photo or video journey that you really need nice, fast, long lenses to get that blurry background, especially at farther distances. This is just something you won't be able to do with the Sony ZV-1. Con number 3 is non-interchangeable lenses. The lens is great at a very usable focal length at 24 to 70mm. However, similar to con number 1, you won't be able to experiment with different higher quality lenses. You won't be able to experiment much with sharp primes and long bokeh lenses. Number 4th con is battery life. The battery runs for around 1 hour of continued video filming. You will easily run out of battery when you're out a whole day shooting. I highly suggest buying extra batteries for your Sony ZV-1. I have this nifty little Wasabi Power back-to-back battery power thing, and it charges with micro USB. It's so freaking convenient, guys. These are definitely lifesavers for the Sony ZV-1, so you gotta have these. And last but not least, the 5th con of the Sony ZV-1 is it's just okay in low light. Having, again, a 1-inch sensor, it won't be as good in low light compared to APS-C cameras and full frame cameras. But for sure, it's still better than any smartphone. But hey, it's all about the story you want to tell with your tools, right? Maybe you want to go with a full frame or APS-C camera. You definitely will get amazing image quality. However, you will be building up the 11 barriers that I talked about earlier again. You're more likely to fuss about all these barriers and your gear over the story you want to tell. If you want an even more minimalist setup, you can totally do everything on your smartphone. You can take nice Instagram photos and film YouTube videos. However, if you want the best quality, you need to film yourself with the rear cameras, and you won't be able to monitor yourself most of the time. You would also get that smartphone look, overexposed, twitchy white balance and exposure, off motion blur, very deep shallow depth of field, so all of this will not be blurred out, and the fixed aperture. And most of the time, smartphones are very bad in low light. The Sony ZV-1 is the perfect content creation tool. I think Sony really hit a home run with its meticulously thought out features for this small, all-rounder, all-in-one camera. And that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and comment down below on your thoughts on the Sony ZV-1. And a subscribe to the channel would be marvelous. This was Sonny Lee, and I'll see you guys in that next video. Thanks for watching. So I'm walking up the stairs, and yeah. Comment down below your thoughts on the ZV-1. Let's talk down there. You know, I have the ZV-1, so if you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. a subscribe to the channel would be epic. And I'll see you guys in that next video. Thanks for watching.